The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. You can follow the Barbers Chat Network at BarbersChairNet on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, follow H&B Media, H&B Media TV on Twitter and H&B Media on Instagram, man. Get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. Visit pillarsclub.co or go to their Instagram, pillars_club, or you can visit any of their 3 locations in the Chicagoland area, man. It is Monday, April 15th, 2024. Happy tax day. Happy Jackie Robinson Day. Hope all you niggas paid your taxes. If not, Uncle Sam's coming for your ass, nigga. But anyway, we got a nice show for y'all. We are a day before the NBA play-in tournament, the SoFi NBA play-in tournament. Need to get the sponsor right. We're going to break down all those games today.
Wait a minute, they got a sponsor?
Yo, they got a sponsor now.
Oh.
Niggas got a sponsor now.
I did not know that until you just said it.
The SoFi play-in tournament.
Wow.
Is the name of it. That's one of me. Just wait till they get the play, not the play-in, but the end season when Apple is the fucking sponsor for that shit. It's coming. Just give it time. But we got the whole crew with us, man. We got J.R. Bang. You can follow Bang at J.R. Bang on all social media platforms. You can follow Dante at Octoberzonte on Instagram. I'm not Instagram, on Twitter. And Mikey will be back next week. Courtney will be back next week. As they two are still using their PTO, but we are still holding it down for y'all, man. I know it looks like the Twitter is tweaking a little bit. Where you know when you put a stream on Twitter and like it showed a video.
Yeah,
the video is not showing currently on any Twitter right now. So
and that might have been because I tweaked and pressed the wrong button. So that might be because when my video closed, it was just showing that. Look at it again now that we all back up. You should see it.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out again. You say when you tweet?
No, I just clicked the wrong button. I was trying to cut the.
No, that shit is still not showing.
Oh yeah, well no, get on Twitter. That's Elon's fault. That ain't
that's Elon's fault. That ain't got nothing to do with us on our end. So shout out to y'all who decide. You know, one thing about social media, people are slow. So instead of actually clicking on the link, like people are, oh, I don't see no video on this, so it ain't gonna show. So it might be a Twitter glitch because this is not the first time this has happened. But shout out to the one nigga in the chat. He said taking flight stay is what he calls you. But anyway, we got a nice show for y'all. The homie
Orlando ass.
Yeah, exactly. The homie Larry Legend will be joining us in the second hour to talk about the busy weekend in hip hop with the disses and things like that. I'll give a little bit of my opinion on that today. I will go even further on Summer Sessions tomorrow because I've got a lot to say about what happened this weekend. But let's get into my sound off. I want to start off with my sound off, man. We are living in and I don't say something that's never happened before, but we're living in an era of the young phenom, as I like to call it, man. You got all these either college athletes or rookies in the sports right now who are really blowing things up and looking like the future leaders of their generation in each respective sport. You got a guy in Victor Wembanyama who came in with so much hype. This time last year, you know, the hype that you got for Caitlin Clark right now, the hype that you got for Caleb Williams right now, the same hype that Victor Wembanyama had a year ago. And everybody was like, oh, he's not going to live up to that. He's skinny. He's this, that. He's this, that, and the third. And he just put up one of the most, you know, impressive, you know, what's what I'm looking at? Rookie seasons of all time this year. And I just feel like, you know, he actually surpassed what I thought he was going to do and what a lot of people thought he was going to do. If you look at the stats this year, he averaged 21 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game, shot 46% from the field. He also averaged almost 4 assists per game, and he averaged like, you know, I'm looking for the actual blocks, right? You know, in the NBA be holding down what the blocks are. It was a couple blocks a game he averaged, and he had an incredible season. Don't take the Spurs record and try to put that into it. He had a great year. And he also looked Caitlin Clark, everything she's done, going to be the number one first pick tonight in the WNBA draft. That will be going on in about 2 hours, live from New York City. Shout out to her, shout out to Angel Reese, shout out to all of the women in that draft today. This has been definitely one of the biggest, you know, college basketball seasons for the women's game. And I think this is going to be a great thing that translating right into the actual league, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But we saw a lot of people upset about her being on Saturday Night Live this week. I've never seen a loser get this much attention. There's a couple things I got to say about that. One, let's stop with the semantics, man. Just say what you really want to say. Like, let's cut the bullshit. There's nothing to do with losers, okay? How many times LeBron lost the final and you see this nigga on like a late night show before, I don't know, the Denver Nuggets or some shit? It's because he's LeBron James. He moves the needle, okay? If I put a gun in your head and you're not like an avid WNBA watcher or not avid or an avid women's college basketball watcher, if I put a gun in your head and I tell you, name one player on South Carolina, you're not going to know them, but you know Caitlin Clark. She moves the needle. She's a great player. She's gonna be the number one draft pick. Of course, she's gonna be on Saturday Night Live. Let's just stop all these games, man. Like it's a lot of hate, and that's what we're seeing for all these different phenoms. All this hate coming in. But when she gets to the league, she just gets a different type of physicality. And yes, this comes from older heads too. You know, Diana Taurasi, and I'm not mad at them feeling that way. Diana Taurasi has earned the way to, you know, has earned the right to say what she wants with her career. She can say whatever she wants. I'm not mad at her. It's just the fans and things like that. But she better do this. She better do that. We heard the same thing last year about Victor Wembanyama. Oh, you compare him to LeBron. They doing this, that, and third. And he completely had an amazing season. And it's the scary part. If you're in the NBA, this is the worst Victor Wembanyama's ever going to be in his career.
No worse.
It's the worst. He's going to get better and scarier. The nigga, can he drink alcohol yet? Or he just started to be able to drink alcohol? One of the two. The nigga's young, okay? 27-year-old Wemby, if he can stay healthy, God bless, okay? And I believe it's the same thing with Caitlin Clark. Yes, there might be a little bit of a curve. Might take a couple games to get on her belt, but she shoots like Steph Curry. She's going to be on a team that's going to give her the rock, and she moves the needle, man. It's going to be a big show. Let's go on to the NHL. We don't really talk about hockey on this show. I'm going to be real. I am a bandwagon hockey fan. A.K.A. when the Blackhawks are good, I watch. When they don't, I don't really pay much attention to it. This year is the most I paid attention to Blackhawks hockey in over a decade. That's because of Connor Bedard. Now, we talk about somebody who can't drink alcohol. This nigga can't drink alcohol. He came out here had one of the most impressive seasons we've ever seen. Made his first All-Star game at just 19 years old. This is a kid who has been, even if you don't watch hockey, you know who Connor Bedard was. Oh, they had that outside the line special on him a couple years ago. He's been recruited since he was literally 12 years old. Like an agent came to his mother's house and said, your son is going to be a star. And he was getting agent requests at 12 years old. All the hype coming in. He's the next Patrick Kane. He's the next Connor McDavid. And he has came out and executed and done all that to the fact where it's kind of the hockey version of what Wembanyama's doing. This is the worst he's going to be. And I actually like how the NBA and NHL did that little mashup. It was like a video with those two interviewing each other at the United Center when the Spurs are playing the Bulls, because those are two phenoms, both the respective sports. Both of them, you put any type of regular talent around them, those teams are going to be very, very good. And he came out here an amazing season. So you got all that. Now the spotlight is somebody we've been talking about for months, if you've been watching this program, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams will be on the clock next week, 10 days from now, in Detroit, Michigan for the NFL draft. He's been compared to Patrick Mahomes, the best prospect since Andrew Luck. We've been hearing all these things. We know how all this conversation is going, not just league wide, but also in Chicago. And now he's on the plate to save a franchise who has not won a championship in about 40 years, has never really had a franchise quarterback, unless you want to count Sid Luckman. And I don't even know if black people were able to drink from the same fountain as white people when he was on top anyways. That don't even matter. So it's been all this has been going on. Now he's got to carry this team into prosperity, and he's coming in with a great situation. I believe no number one draft pick in history of sports is ever coming into. So I would say this as a fan, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy what you're watching right now. We got all this young talent across the board in all these different leagues. And it's time for y'all to give them their respect. I mean, even in MLB, we just saw Jackson Holiday make his debut about a week ago. So you've seen all this young talent come up, and it's natural that the hate. I'm not saying the hate's got to stop. We know how things are. We know how things are in the social media world. And even before that, LeBron James was hated from day one. He's still hated now. That comes with the territory. But just kind of embrace what you're seeing right now. Before we get to our first topic, I want to get y'all opinion on what I just said about like the phenoms that we're seeing right now. Do you think like this is something that we've never seen before, or just have more spotlight because they're so young? I'll go to you first, man.
I don't think or at least I have never seen it in this form. Like, you have now young folks in every league, like top of not like what's that draft? Not like the Stromae Swift draft or anything like that. Like, you got Connor, you got Jackson, you got Caitlin, you got Wemby. You have everybody in every major league that is looking to draft or have drafted the person that's going to be the face or one of the faces of their leagues in the future. I don't remember a time that has happened for me. It probably has, but like for baseball, I wasn't necessarily paying attention to baseball like that. Like the draft, excuse me. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the baseball draft. So maybe like Chipper Jones came in with Allen Iverson or some shit. I don't know. But to see all of these people and all of the major sports leagues, and now with the WNBA with Caitlin Clark, adding that right there. But then also looking at that WNBA draft where Caitlin Clark is the top of the mountain, but you have notable players. Cameron Brink is one of them. Angel Reese is another one. Homegirl from South Carolina is another one. It's just like so much that is going on right now, where it just makes sports, whatever sport that you win right now, very interesting.
Definitely. Dante, what's your take on these phenoms we're seeing?
I think it's dope. I think this is what we've been asking for, especially with basketball, because we've been saying, we need the media to do their jobs and really start putting these young players on the map. And I think with the type of talent that these dudes have, well, not these dudes, these individuals have, you can't deny them. You have to talk about them. Like we talk about Caitlin being a needle mover. You can't ignore her. You can't ignore what she's doing on the court, and in turn, it's going to allow people to focus on her off the court. And so we always talk about getting more eyes on the women, and that's definitely going to help as a whole. And I think, like you said, with Caleb is set up to literally, they will pave the fucking streets with gold if this man is anything what they say he is.
Yeah.
So like, we're really in a situation where he can have an amazing impact in Chicago in the sense that they're gonna worship him like on some Derek Jeter shit. We've said this on camera, off camera, but like it really could be a Derek Jeter vibe with Caleb if he succeeds quickly in Chicago. And I think, like you said right now, I don't think it's something we haven't seen before. I think it's unique in a situation when you have three or four that you can point at directly, but also I think there's probably been others that we aren't really thinking about off the top of our heads, where 2 or 3 people came in at the same time, and it was like damn, okay. Because but yeah, I do think it's great for sports and especially basketball because we needed Wemby. You need, we will get into the NBA conversation. You need Shy, you need all of these guys. You need it for the leagues to grow, and so it's great.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if it was the same year. I think it was around the same year, like 95, 96, where you had Tiger Woods, Venus and Serena, A-Rod, if I'm not mistaken. That was all around the same year, maybe. Maybe I'm off.
Yeah,
But
that was all around the same year. But I was specifically talking about like draft.
okay.
Whereas, who was the number one pick in baseball, number one pick in basketball, number one pick in football, and now you have the WNBA. I personally have
Yeah, I
never
think it's
seen
the
it.
first time for that. Yeah.
Right, like this is the first time that I can ever remember that it was a generational talent drafted number one or close to it. Because was Jackson Holiday number one pick?
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. But
2 years ago.
Okay.
he was
But
number one pick though.
Yeah, but he playing this year. So, but
Yeah,
even
correct.
still, like even still, whether you want to say he's playing this year or at the time he was drafted, I've never seen a situation where incoming first year playing. That's how I make it specific. Coming in first year playing is a generational talent coming in every major league. And man, I don't necessarily watch a lot of hockey myself. But some dude just came onto the Blackhawks that was just playing at Michigan. He just scored his first goal and shit.
Yeah, a couple
That I
years
saw
ago.
them was talking about too. I was like, yo, who was dude?
Yeah. Yeah,
So this-
they really started. I forgot. I gotta look on the Instagram, look at Buddy's name, but I knew exactly what you're talking about because I saw that all on my feed this weekend. And it just, you're seeing like I feel like the younger ones also too about Caleb and Caitlin. And this last thing I'll say, and we'll move on. This is the first players from the NIL era.
Yeah.
Number one, Caitlin's already a millionaire. Caleb's already a millionaire. To the fact Caitlin's actually making less in the WNBA than she is in Iowa.
Yeah, but what people, another good thing, because Angel Reese mentioned this. A lot of the NIL deals are State Farm and places where they're going to be national deals now. So like they finna get even more bread. So
for sure.
They're not like, I agree. They taking the L with the WNBA salaries.
Well, I'm just talking like the WNBA side, like
wait a minute.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're telling me is that these another part of NIL that I did not think of. So basically, you telling me like they come up in the system.
Yeah. They're gonna be like Shohei, where like he's making $1 million with the Dodgers, but he's making $50 million in endorsements.
Yeah.
They're gonna make $250 from the WNBA.
Oh, yeah,
like probably clear. They're gonna clear a couple million in endorsements.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see or hear. Basically, like a player going through a system when it comes to endorsements. So it's like I'm a State Farm person since my freshman year of high school, basically.
Ain't Caitlin on State Farm though?
Yeah, Caitlin, she's on State Farm.
I saw her with Buddy, the State Farm nigga. Yeah, did y'all know he from Chicago?
Yeah.
State Farm nigga from Chicago.
State Farm nigga from the crib.
Yeah, and so this nigga Caleb did the Heisman House with Barry Sanders and all them. He had a Wendy's commercial, and that's not even including the local deals they're gonna get. So, but shout out to them, man. So big shout out to all of the young phenoms coming up, man. Big shout out, big salute to Caitlin Clark gonna be getting drafted in about 2 hours. Salute to Angel Reese, all the women getting drafted tonight, and also all of the young men who will be getting drafted next Thursday. And we will be having news on Friday about our draft coverage next week, so look out for that, man. So let's get into our first official topic of the afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are at. The NBA season is over. The regular season is over. One of the most forgettable regular seasons in a long time, but the playoffs are here. The SoFi play-in tournament is here. And before we get into these top storylines and breaking down, giving our picks for Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll save our picks for the actual playoff series on Friday. Friday, we're going to have the playoff preview special. The homie Pavi should be joining. Pavi's not joining us today because this nigga's in London, but he should be joining us on Friday. Of course, we have cousin Dan Fridays on Friday. We'll be talking about each series breakdown by breakdown. But the question here that I gotta ask you, brothers, who is the NBA MVP? Now, the official candidates have not been announced yet, but I'm going to take an educated guess that those three candidates will be Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Mr. Nikola Jokic of the defending champion Denver Nuggets, and Mr. Jalen Brunson of the number 2 seeded New York Knicks. I was on the Jokic fence pretty much all season, but I have changed my tune. I think the MVP should be Shai. I think the MVP should be Shai, and I'm gonna go even further with this one. I'm gonna go even further with it. Number 2 should be Jalen Brunson. I think Jokic should come and say, Dan ain't showing if Bron them lose. That's actually a good point. He might not show up if Bron them lose, even though he said on Friday that he has Denver repeating, but that you got a good point. But I think it should go to Shai. I mean, I thought that the Oklahoma City Thunder would have a leap this year. Obviously, I didn't think that they would be 57 wins, number 1 seed. Good. They completely dusted the Mavericks yesterday. Now, granted, Luka and Kyrie did not play last night. When I saw that score, I'm like, these niggas are 40. There's no way that Luka and Kyrie hooped at all. There's no way that happened. But they've just been a great team. They've been a great team. They've been consistent. I feel like a lot of people, and I'm one of them, are sleeping on them with their actual playoff chances. Got to give love to Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren played all 82 games. And I know that seemed like it shouldn't be something too big, but in the era of load management, especially with young players, I got to give the Chet Holmgren. But also, Shai did all of this leading this team. This is his 5th or 6th season with the team since he was traded from the Clippers. He's really become a star. I'm not ready to call him a superstar because, in my opinion, superstar is only like 6 or 7 of those. When I think superstar, I think on and off the court. That's a conversation we've had on this show multiple times, and I've had on Twitter. I'm not going to do it again, but I think Shai is a big star, big part of the young guard heading into it. But he led this team to number 1 seed with no all-star teammates. I think that's a big thing we got to factor in here with no all-star teammates. So if I had a vote, I give it to Shai. I think that Jokic probably fumbled it the last week or two with them dropping from the number 1 seed to 3rd. And for everybody, it's more than just stats. The record has a lot to do with it. We can sit up here and argue about whether or not that's how the NBA should be voting it. It's a tradition that's been long, and that's just how it is. And he's also 2-time MVP as it is, so he's already going to have the we tired of this nigga win MVP bias that comes with him. So I'm going to give it to Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander if I had an MVP vote. Dante, who would you be giving the MVP to?
My whole thing is, like I've been saying, we need some new blood out there. Shai is a good one, and I think I would go. I wouldn't, dispute that, but I would give it to Jalen Brunson. I know this is not gonna happen, but I think Jalen Brunson should win MVP, bro. He's really been the heart and soul of that Knicks team. When everybody, even when they brought him in, they was like, "Oh, we brought him in to help Julius Randle." Well, no, that's his team. Like, he's the best player on that basketball team. Once again, it looks like a bad move for Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban denies that the offer that Brunson said he would play for, but that's neither here nor there. We won't talk about that anymore at this point. He is the best player on the Knicks, and they should be looking to add a player that complements Jalen Brunson, or that they can add that plays along with Jalen Brunson, as opposed to, people have been saying, well, we need a lead dog because it's not him. I think he has shown you this year that he can be the best player on that team, and I think that that's somebody that they really should give the MVP to.
Bang, where you standing at with this?
Man, I mean, I was on the Shai train for the majority of the season, saying as long as they got the number 1 seed, I don't think you cannot give it to them. Like, you got to give it to them if that was the case. But I'm with Dante. I think Jalen Brunson did enough, more than enough, in the biggest market in the United States to get the look for MVP. So if I was picking for somebody for MVP, especially with them being the 2nd seed without possibly their best player, if we want to be technical, hella technical, since, as you said, he was supposedly brought in to help him. Nah, man, Jalen Brunson should be your MVP this season.
I'm not mad at that at all, man. I think Jalen Brunson is deserving. I don't know if he, will win it. But if you look at everything he's worked with this year, I mean, it's the same thing with the Nuggets a little bit. Not the Nuggets, but the OKC was. I think we all expected them to have a good season, but we were thinking 4th to 5th seed range like last year. Number 2 seed, all the injuries that they dealt with. Julius Randle, who's my man? His name is OG Anunoby was out for a long time, and even
Yep.
Jalen missed a little bit of time himself. But last night, big win over the Bulls. Bulls should have won that game, but DeMar be thinking this is Rucker Park at the end of games. And that's why with him missing that shot at the end. But 40 points from him, he's been great. He's been great. And so I have no problem with Jalen winning. But Shea is led the league in 30-point games, and Shea is somebody where I feel like he, as I said on Friday, I want to see it in the playoffs because he's just too cool, calm, and collected. Like you don't see no energy from him. Like you see the energy from Jalen Brunson. Now, granted, he is the leader of a very energetic fan base, and I don't know about y'all. I've never met an Oklahoma City Thunder fan a day in my life. So I think that's the difference with that too. But I think all three of these guys are deserving. I think this is a very tight race, and I am interested to see who's going to come up on the side. Which way are the voters leaning when it comes to this, man? So I'm definitely interested to see how that's going to go. But let's get into our storylines, man. Tomorrow, the SoFi play-in tournament begins. Saturday, the NBA playoffs begin. So we're going to get into the top 5 storylines heading into the playoffs / play-in. Let's start with storyline number 5. Is this the Lakers and the Warriors last stand? The Lakers will kick off both will kick off their playing games tomorrow. The Lakers will be on the road again, playing a team that just blew out last night. That is Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans. We got to give love to LeBron James being the first person to have 40,000 points, 11,000 assists, 11,000 rebounds in NBA history. Got to show love to him. This is his 21st season. Still going strong. Definitely incredible. Got to give love to Anthony Davis. If we going to go up here and talk shit about Anthony Davis like we always do, 76 games played this year, man. That is an incredible feat. Got to give some love from AD. He's been hooping defensively. He's been amazing. He's definitely, I probably is going to finish as a top 3 defensive player of the year candidate with Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. I think it's Rudy's to lose, but he's going to be in that conversation. And the Lakers actually had a better season than they did last year. I think they finished, 47, 48 wins. And if this was any other season, the West wasn't as much parity in the West as usual. In the East, these niggas would be like the 3rd seed. So you got to give love to them on that. Golden State Warriors, very much an up and down season. They got 45, 44 wins this season as well. And, they had a very tough January. They bounced back, played some good ball. Now they're here and they're getting ready for rematch against Sacramento Kings. I say that this probably is the last stand. And I'm going to say that because these teams can look drastically different this fall because we all know LeBron James. He said on multiple occasions these last couple of weeks that he doesn't know how much time he has. It might be a year, it might be 2 years. We know he wants to play with Bronny. Bronny is declaring for the draft this year. We don't know how that situation is going to go. And we also know that, he doesn't love the situation that's going on with the Lakers. There's been rumors. Remember the deadline? Should they trade him? There was actually talk about a trade that would have sent him to Golden State Warriors. Now, of course, it wasn't really taken seriously, but the fact that you had the general manager on the phone tells me it was serious enough. So there's different ways. We know LeBron, after a couple years, he'll be ready to move. And I'm pretty sure LeBron wants to try to get at least one more championship before he retires, before he hangs it up. He's not going to catch Mike at 6, but he wants to at least try to catch Kobe at 5, catch Magic at 5, catch Duncan at 5 to put him in that situation. And there's been, I don't know, rumors floating around, but I've seen a couple things. Really, Philly could get rid of Tobias Harris' contract and easily add LeBron up in there, add him with Joel Embiid. So if this playoff doesn't go the way that he hopes it, I think everybody with brains know it's not going to amount to them making the West Conference Finals again. But I think this is the last ride for him, that he could potentially maybe be playing his last game for the Lakers. And I'm for sure that this is the last ride with the Golden State Warriors. We can sit up here and say all these things about why the season didn't go the way they wanted. At the end of the day, I just don't think this team is that good anymore. I think Draymond Green, who knows how long he's going to stay. Klay Thompson's probably going to be off this team because he's going to be asked for more money. So that's what I think. This is probably the last stand for the Lakers and the Warriors. Bang, what do you think about this? Do you think this is the last stand for these two legendary franchises and players?
And Mama told me one day this was gonna happen. But she never told me when. But yes, this is the end. Yes, the end. And it's about time. Like this is not gonna live forever. It's not gonna go on forever. Um, I will say this, and this is not to bring LeBron and Michael Jordan in some type of conversation. This is this. The NBA is always best when you have a changing of the guard. When you have a clear changing of the guard. I think one of the things that kind of messed up with the Bulls going into San Antonio and LA and all of that is that there was not a true changing of the guard because Mike just retired. But Magic and Larry had to give it to Mike. And before that, Kareem had to give it to them niggas. So this is what we're seeing in this case. LeBron and Steph is about to move in another direction, and they're about to hand it off to the Shays and the Zions and all of those folks. So yeah, and I like it too. This is how it's supposed to end. This is how these changings of the guards supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen when you have a situation where you lose, and when you lose, that person takes over for you. So I'm actually excited for the new era of the NBA. And before I go on, hey man, happy birthday to this little kid right here.
Happy birthday.
Yesterday he had his third birthday
Okay.
and everything. So happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday, Liam.
Well, now you don't want to sing happy birthday and
now?
shit. You don't want to talk now. But yeah, true changing of the guard coming, and I'm excited about it.
Dante, man, what you thinking? This the last time we gonna see LeBron and Steph in this situation?
I'm more likely to say it's the last time we see Steph than it is LeBron, simply because LeBron finds a way to find teams or put himself in a position where his team is going to at least get there or challenge for it. His tenure with the Lakers has been, whether you like it or not, stopped mainly by injuries. But LeBron's played and been healthy. The Lakers have been good, and the Lakers have challenged, and made some progress. So for me, I think LeBron, no matter where he goes, like you said, I don't know about any rumors about leaving or anything like that, but wherever he lands, I think he will set himself up to be in the best position to succeed. As for the Warriors, I think it's one of those things where, because we are so on the end of every spectrum, either we're very high on something, very low on something, people are really looking at this the wrong way. Do I think it's over? Yes. Do I think it's something to mourn? Absolutely not. You were a team that people were shitting on, the outside of Run TMC, and back in the day, nobody gave a fuck about. Nobody was talking about Rick Barry and no fucking underhand free throws. Now you've put that franchise back on the map. That's something to be proud of. You won your championships, did your thing, and we out of there. So I think Steph will retire a Warrior. He's somebody who, if he asks for a trade, I think they would definitely meet. They would do that for him. But I think he's not gonna do that. He's gonna retire one team, spend his entire life in the Bay. He's a god up there, and I think Clay won't be back. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to move Draymond somehow, but I think with the Warriors, it's definitely the end of that dynasty, and it's just something that we shouldn't be sad about. We should just recognize that it's over and keep it moving.
Yeah, man, it went on 10 years. Basically, they were able to get a championship 2 years ago that I don't think anybody expected them to get. They were able to squeeze one more up out of that crew. And yeah, so Lakers had 47 wins this year. Warriors had 46. So only a game difference between the two. Let's go into my number 4 storyline going into the playoffs / play in. It is the year of the Knicks. Year of the Knickerbockers, man. The Knicks are the number 2 seed, 50 wins for the first time since that 2013 team led by Carmelo Anthony. Man, we talking about the Knicks as a number 2 seed. We talking about O.J. Simpson, man. The 90s is back, nigga. Like that's what Will Smith performing Men in Black at Coachella. You know what I'm saying? Like the 90s is back. That's kind of how it feels like a little bit. But the Knicks, man, this has been an incredible Knicks season. And I say that because I got a lot of Knicks fans, homies. And a lot of time, as I've always said, the Bears are the football version of the Knicks, where both fan bases a lot of times get irrationally excited. But this time they had legitimate reasons for getting excited. When Jalen Brunson signed that contract 2 years ago, a lot of people thought it was an overpay. I was one of those people. Now it looked like a steal if you're the Knicks front office and from everything he's done. And honestly, I know a lot of people's like, oh, they're gonna be missing Julius Randle. I'll be real. I don't know how much of a loss it is. I like Julius Randle was a very hot and cold player, especially in the playoffs. And I think sometimes after a while, players just are who they are. And I just think Julius Randle is who he is. I'm not saying that they're not going to miss him at all, or I'm not going to do a hot they're a better team. I don't think that drop off is that big. My fear for them is that first round matchup. Like second seed is great. I'm not ever saying you never want to get a second seed because Madison Square Garden is one of the best atmospheres to play in, to play playoff basketball in. I've never been to Madison Square Garden, but it's loud just watching it on TV. Like when you hear Big Three, you hear Mike Breen do the bang or Kevin Harlan, and that's a big three from Jalen Brunson. Like you can hear the loud crowd from your television set. So I know it's crazy up in Madison Square Garden. So it's a big place to play. But if you're the Knicks, you're going to be playing either the boogeyman who always beat y'all, who beat y'all last year, and a team that they can be straight up booty in the regular season, but they form like Voltron come every playoffs, and that is Mr. James G. Buckets and the Miami Heat. You could be facing them in the first round, or I would be more concerned about facing Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's be real. The Sixers are only the number 7 seed because Embiid missed like 2 months, but he's back. He's playing well. Tyrese Maxey is in a bigger role now. No James Harden to take possessions from him in the playoffs like last year. You don't have Glenn Rivers on the sideline. You got a coach who's won a championship more frequently, and Nick Nurse. I'm not saying that the Knicks can't beat either of these teams because I would pick the Knicks against the Heat. I would probably pick the Sixers against the Knicks. I don't know. We'll see what happens. They're both winnable series for them, but I could also see them losing both of these series. This is not going to be your typical first round series, but for the first time, I think the Knicks have a legit shot, a legit path to actually make an Eastern Conference final. Dante, what you think about the Knicks' chances this year, this season they've had, and how far do you think they can go?
I think they can go pretty far. Like I think one thing we got to remember about the Heat. I understand we always act like they're inevitable, but remember they always run out of gas at some point. And also at the same time, this is the same Heat team. Yeah. Hold on. Well, this is the same Heat team that last year. The Bulls are just ass, bro. They just got lucky. Like, the Bulls are terrible. Like
in the words of World Series champion Ozzie Guillen, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, Ozzy's unemployed right now, so we take that with a grain of salt, my nigga. But no, I do like the Knicks' chances this year. Again, everybody was questioning what would happen without Julius Randle, but I think that team has really rallied around Jalen Brunson, and Tom Thibodeau's done a great job adjusting, and that's something that we never used to say. Like one of our biggest issues with Tibbs forever has been his adjustment. So I like their chances no matter who comes out of the that 7-8 matchup. My thing with the 76ers, bro, I can't trust them. I just can't. Like, I don't know when I'll ever cross that threshold. Will I do? And I can just, confidently come in here and say, yeah, bro, this is the year. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, who's had a hell of a year. He's been amazing, but it's like, no, I don't trust Philadelphia. I don't trust them enough to sit here and say they could just go in there and beat them. So I think, being that 2 seed, having those teams, you having a home court, they got to come to the Garden. I like the Knicks.
Bang,
and
man,
I like the Knicks a lot.
Bang, man, what you think about this Knicks revival and their chances, the season that they had and their chances in the playoffs?
Because I hate the Knicks.
I do too. I really do.
I hate Knicks tape. I hate the old version of the Knicks. But I love this new version of the Knicks for some reason. Like, I actually like this team. This team is scrappy. They don't let up. And like you said, maybe it is good that Julius Randle is not with the team because he stops the ball.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Brunson, even though he's from like Lincolnshire or some shit, we'll give him a little bit of credit because he used to ball dudes up from Lincolnshire when I think he went to
We're going to have claim him.
Yeah, we're going to have claim him. We're going to have claim him. But nah, I love this team. And even with all of that, I love Jalen Brunson. The funny thing is I did say that, and let me apologize for Jalen Brunson. I mean, sit up. Hey, Jalen Brunson, J.R. Davis, contributor to I'm Not Gonna Hold You, host of Some Dude Pod, and First Black Champ on Barbershop Network. When you was drafted, I said that you would be a future assistant coach like your daddy. I thought you would be a journeyman like your pops and, be like an assistant coach on Villanova, some shit. Clearly that ain't happening. And now, the same day I'm apologizing on this show, I said that you should be the MVP of the league this season. So yes, Jalen, I apologize to you, your daddy, your family, all of that. And what's crazy is I used to play with your pops on NBA
Oh,
Live.
oh, okay. I thought you mean play that nigga in real life. I'm like, all right.
No, I used to play. Oh, I ain't that old, nigga. But I used to play with
Who
your
was his
pops on
pops?
Rick
Rick
Brunson.
Branson.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to play with your pops on NBA Live just to show people I'm good at NBA Live because I could take the 12th man on the bench and whoop your ass starting at the point. So I apologize to you, Jalen. Good luck because y'all going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
Y'all ain't going to the finals, but y'all going to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the city of New York and the world is going to be lit because it puts the number one market in a prime spot again, which it ain't been in quite some time. So I apologize, Jalen.
I don't think I ever shitted on Jalen, but I'm gonna have an apology to Knicks fans. Knicks fans told me that they were gonna be great this year, and I was like, hey, whatever, nigga, y'all the Knicks, y'all gonna come back down to earth at that little bullshit y'all did last year. I was wrong, and yeah, man, I'm with you. I like this Knicks team. I don't feel good that I like this Knicks team. It's a likable team. I always love Tibbs, even though Tibbs was part of the reason Derek got hurt, and I say part of it because it wasn't all Tibbs. It was some of it, but it's a likable team, man. It's a likable team, and I think the thing about it is they believe, the fan base believes, and I hate that Dante said this for years on not just this show but also on our previous basketball podcast, Ball Don't Lie, and I never wanted to admit it, but he's right. The NBA is just better when the Knicks are good. It is. The NBA is better when the Knicks are good. I feel like it's like that with any of the big time teams. Like it's like the NFL is better when the Raiders are good. Now, how many times are the actual Raiders good? Never, but that's besides the point of what I'm saying here. But I Eastern Conference Finals, I can see. I just think that the first round challenge is going to be a challenge. Maybe that's good for them though, because if they get out of that, then they'll be the second seed. They'll play the winner of Milwaukee, Indiana. I'll be real with the way Giannis looking. Might be the Pacers. And they can beat the Pacers. So shout out to the Knicks, man. But let's go to my number 3 topic heading into the playoffs / play-in, man. This is the Young Guns arrival. The Young Gunners. Shout out to Chris and Neef. The Young Gunners, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder. The Minnesota Timberwolves. The Thunder, of course, like I said, are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They finished at 57 wins. This year, which is amazing. 57-25. Minnesota finished at 56-26. I don't think we saw this coming from either both of these teams. But like you said, Bang, I'm excited to see this new era hoop. I'm excited to see Anthony Edwards on a big playoff stage. Even though he's been in the playoffs the last couple of years, but this is the only time where I feel like they should be a favorite in a series going up against the Phoenix Suns, which I think is going to be a very entertaining series. The Suns beat them last night. There's little words on the court before and after, which I loved. And the Suns are a team. I just don't like their makeup, but we'll preview that series on Friday. But it's going to be fun to see them with a legit shot. We talk about good crowds. I think Minnesota has a great crowd. OKC has a great crowd. It's been so long since we've had playoff basketball in Oklahoma City that we forget how loud it used to get in there during the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden days. It gets loud up in there. So you got Shea, Chet Holmgren, and all these guys. It's just fun to kind of see this new thing happen in your face. And this is my first time as a guy watching basketball that I watched it and I call them actual kids because these niggas was born like after 9/11. Like it's the first time I'm watching basketball and I'm like, oh, I'm way older than this nigga. Like way older. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just cool to see that come to fruition. And you're seeing the old guard of LeBrons and Stephs kind of going out the way a little bit. And OKC, they're either going to be facing Zion Williamson, who Zion has never been in the NBA playoffs before. And, if they play Zion Williamson in the first round, that'd be a fun young era series, or it might be a let's take old Yella out back series, and you're facing the Golden State Warriors. Am I completely taking the Sacramento Kings out of this equation? Yes, I am, because they will lose to either the Pelicans or the Warriors. I'm not even considering them playing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. If they do, yeah, that's young too. De'Aaron Fox is young. That's a nice little series. You know, I think the Thunder will make light work of them. But it's just fun to see everything come across. We talk about the old guard too. It's Anthony Edwards going against Kevin Durant, which is also fun. We saw the viral clip that's been going around all season when Anthony Edwards saying, yeah, they got KD, but we got Jay McDaniels. It's a funny clip, but he actually believes that, which is where you're going to be able to see that on display, man. So I think it's just cool to see this arrival of this new era that we've seen all season. It'll be on display in the playoffs. Dante, what you think about this storyline of the arrival of the young guns was like as top seeds?
It's about time. I just hope we give them they just do. And I think this is like I said, this is extremely important. This is a very important time for the league. I know we've been, predicting Steph and LeBron and everybody's downfall for the past 4 or 5 years. But even if it's finally Jason Tatum and Jalen Green to get over the fucking hump, but in terms of these young guns, OKC, Minnesota especially, because that's a city, as we all know. Minnesota is a great sports town. Like it actually is a really good sports town. They love their teams. They usually go hard, and when they are competitive, you've seen some really great playoff atmospheres in Minnesota in every sport. So I think the Timberwolves will definitely follow suit with that. And Anthony Edwards is a superstar. I've said this for years. Like I said, in the next 3 years, I think he'll be the best player in the league. I don't think that's a stretch. I think that's something that's pretty much, should be a foregone conclusion at this point. No disrespect to Shea, but I think that that's somebody who, in my opinion, will be the face of the league based off personality and ability on the court. He's a fucking dog. So you love to see it. And with OKC, this is a team that it seems like the every time we've tried to just write them off, or we just sit there and say, yeah, they tanking. Yeah, they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna do that. Even remember when they got Chris Paul and nobody thought they were gonna make the playoffs, and they went to the playoffs. But they've actually put together they put together an amazing collection of young talent. And this is something that the league needs, because we always talk about small market teams, competitive balance, but they're showing you if you've hired the right people and you actually go out there and do the work, you can compete. And that's what they've done. They've made some really great trades, and now they have hella draft capital to where they can actually add a vet or do whatever they want to do. So I think this is they've officially arrived. I don't know about winning that championship, but like I said, I do still think Tatum and them boys finally pulled it out, but it's gonna be an issue for years to come with these two teams, especially it's kind of, I don't want to say it's fucked up that they both in the West, because we've always talked about the West being top heavy, but they're starting to reload up, and it's just some new faces as opposed to the same ones we've always seen dominate the West.
Bang, man, what you think about that? You said earlier in the earlier segment that you looking forward to, the young guys coming together. What you think about these two specifically and their chances in the playoffs?
Man, see, now that's the concern.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a concern, because either way go, you're going to be going up against some vets, right? And like I said before, I do love that changing of the guard type situation where the old heads go up against the young heads. Matter of fact, hell, let's take it back to White Men Can't Jump. What happened at the end of the movie? They went against the old heads.
Yep.
So they became the kings of the beach. Like this right here, when you play your father, one of the things that's coming of age is when you finally beat your father, or you finally beat your big brother or your big cousin or whatever.
Your cousin.
This what this is. Can the Boston Celtics finally get over the hump? Matter of fact, is the Boston Celtics borderline old heads right now? When you think about how it is right now, are they like borderline old heads right now? But when you look at OKC and Minnesota, if they end up going against the Lakers and the Warriors respectfully, I don't know if both of those teams gonna make it out.
Yeah.
But if they do, that's not only great for the sport, because you're doing it in the playoffs. Yep. You're doing it in the playoffs. And not only you doing it in the playoffs, you're doing it in front of everybody.
Yep.
So now everybody is paying attention to you. Now you can be that superstar that we think that Ant's gonna be, or Shaq can be, if he was just a little bit more outgoing, even though he got that commercial with Chet with them singing. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm not sure And odds are one of those two teams in the West is going to get knocked off. But again, I'm looking at the Boston Celtics not necessarily as a young team because they you might as well start calling them the young OGs.
Yeah, we'll get into the Celtics in just a minute. Gonna go to my number two storyline, and then we're gonna have the homie Larry Legend join us in about 7 minutes. We're gonna do Respect the Culture. I'm talk about this little hip hop battle that's been going on in these streets this last weekend. But my number two storyline heading into the playoff slash play in is the road to repeat for the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, man, it kind of felt like they were coasting all regular season, but still had a good season, finishing as a number 2 seed in the NBA. They could have been number one, 57-25, same record as OKC, but OKC has the tiebreaker over them. Nikola Jokic, just another impressive year. Jamal Murray, another great year. Michael Porter Jr. I mean, this team is so good that, you know, if Aaron Gordon, I almost called a nigga Aaron Carter, but if Aaron Gordon is your fourth best player on the team, you are a really stacked team, and that's why I do not agree with our homie Pavi said on the show last Monday. But as far as chances, they're my pick right now to repeat. I think they've got a great chance to repeat. Slightly concerned about Jamal Murray tweaking his knee a little bit last night, but he stayed in the game, and they don't play their first game they're probably not gonna play the game until Sunday. I'm guessing. Now, I have no inside intel on the NBA schedule, but usually the NBA champions usually don't play to the second day and their West Coast team. So he'll at least have about almost a week to rest that thing up to get ready. So, but I love their chances, man. I think this is a team, they didn't lose anything outside of Bruce Brown. This is a team that's ready. They know how to win. And they just had to get their monkey off their back. This time last year, we like, could they finally get it done? Because they were one of those teams where it was either now or never. And they got it done, won the championship. And I think they got a great chance to do it this year again. Dante, what you think about the defending chance to actually repeat?
As long as they got Joker, they got a shot, bro. I mean, I think at this point it goes without saying that he is the best player in basketball, bro. We see everything he done. I agree with Pavi that the fact that he's been able to pull this team back up to where they are, despite the injuries this season, not having the typical help that he's been able to that he's normally had. I think their shot, they have a very good shot. You know, I don't want to put a number on it, but I think because obviously, you know, it's always easier to just pick the field. But I think Joker is playing at such an elite level, and he's at a point where he sees the game different. It's kind of like with LeBron when he was in his prime. Obviously, not comparing him to LeBron, but in terms of the way he makes his teammates better, and they get buckets based off of his buckets, and they get, you know, easy looks based off, you know, the things that he's able to do out there, the attention he draws, the passes he makes. So, the road to repeating, I think, it won't be as difficult as people think it will. You know, not saying that they're gonna, like I said, not saying that they're gonna do it, but if it does happen, I don't think it's something that we should be shocked by, because Joker's showing you that, you know, he really is that deal when it comes to, you know, making his teammates better and getting the most out of everybody around him.
You know what's funny though? I say this not go to bang. You know, it's a team who actually matches up with them pretty well. Minnesota. Minnesota actually matches up with them pretty well. Minnesota took them to 6 games last year. Not saying that they will win, obviously, but that's the only one I feel like matchup wise would give them a little problems. But
Yeah,
bang,
and I say if you remember, Bruce Brown was the one who said that Minnesota gave them the toughest challenge.
yeah,
He said because of the matchup.
and he got another year with them cat back. Anthony Edwards
Yeah.
balling out. Bang, what you think about the Nuggets' chances to repeat?
Man, I give it a 25% chance.
Wow, 25.
Yeah, I give them a 25% chance. Only because I feel like a slip up can happen with this team. Like, don't get me wrong, Joker's Joker, and that team got a gang of role players that's gonna hold it down. But I don't want to call a repeat without being very confident, and I'm just not confident right now that team can go back to back. I'm just not confident. I can see.
Are you confident in them coming out the West?
No.
Okay.
Because if I stay true to my word, one of them younger teams is going to catch them. If I stay true to my word, they going to feel like they playing with house money, while Denver is going to have the pressure on them to go back and repeat. Excuse me. If I'm being truthful, you know, those teams might be a little bit more hungrier. They just might, you know. So they got the talent to do it, of course, and you got the reigning, defending, and like, forget all that talk, man. It's just a simple fact that I'm just not sure about this team understanding the history and the ramifications of going back to back.
That's a good point too, because it's we've heard the old adage that it's tougher to be the hunted than the hunter. So I definitely think that's a good point to it, and they have been, pretty much been on cruise control for the most of the year,
Right.
and so that has something to do about it. And I will say this: if the Lakers win the playing game, not that I'm saying I'm picking the Lakers over them, they gonna want their leg back. So it's not like it'll be a series that I feel like won't have any type of emotion to it. I think LeBron and AD will have something that they want to say, and the Nuggets can't go into that series or any series thinking, "Oh, we the champs, we can dust these niggas real quick." It's a different ball game, man. Final topic, final storyline. Then we gonna bring the homie Larry Legend in. Something we've been talking about all season, man. This team finished 64-18, best record in basketball. They have been on cruise control, I feel like, since December.
Mm.
Like they have a 14, they up 14 on the Knicks, who is this next team in the conference. They haven't played any important basketball in a long time. That is the Boston Celtics. And I think Dante said this is an interesting situation for them because they are technically the young guns, but these niggas also the OGs at the same time too. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals since 2018. It's been 6 years. Like they were in the East Conference Finals in Tatum's rookie season, and Jaylen Brown's was second or third season. They've been to like 4 or 5 conference finals. They went to NBA Finals last year. This is do or die for the Boston Celtics. If we're talking about on paper what they should do, they should smack everybody in the Eastern Conference. Like this should be one of those Kobe and Shaq 01 type thing where they mow through their conference and then getting ready to play the best of the West. That's how it should be. Do I think it will be that way? No. I'm not saying they gotta show me. They gotta show me. That's why I'm at with it. I'm not picking the Celtics to win no championship until them niggas at least get back into the finals like they did 2 years ago. It's just now or never for them because Jaylen Brown has the biggest contract in basketball. You're gonna have to pay Tatum again. And after a while, you either do it or you don't. This might be a team shifter if they can't get the job done. I believe if they can at least make the NBA Finals, I think it's going to be a big problem. Dante, what you think about? You said that you think they're going to actually win the championship this year. So I'm gonna frame the question a little differently. Why do you feel that way?
Because everything you've named, they've been through the fire. I think it's easy to sit here and say that they can't get it done. We all know that they can do it, and I think that this is the year that they make the necessary adjustments to get it done. As for this being the last stand, I don't agree with that, and I think this is one of those things where, especially with like Jaylen Brown's contract, we're gonna get to a point where with basketball, we have to look at the percentage of the salary cap your number takes up and not the actual number because everything is ballooning. Inflation is everywhere. Every time you look up, this is like when Mike Conley had the number one, had the biggest deal in league history. And everybody was like, well, he's overpaid. Well, no, technically he's not. He has a max slot, and that max slot is 30% of the salary cap. The salary is just high as fuck. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. But I think in terms of this team, as long as you have those two, you can maneuver pieces around and you'll be able to contend. But I think this year is the year that they put it all together. And some of the lapses we've seen, especially the ISO ball late in games, during the playoffs when they really struggled, I think we won't see that. And so I think you'll see them play together. And I think, like I said, I think this will be the year that the Celtics put it all together.
That first round is going to tell me a lot. If they can go in that first round, take care of business, whoever they face, whether it's the bum ass Bulls, the Atlanta Hawks, or Philly or Miami, they have to get rid of whoever they get rid of very quickly for me. If that turns to a 6-7 game series, some of my original concerns are gonna hop back up on that one, man. Bang left for a minute, so we're gonna move on to our next segment. It's time for our weekly segment here on Monday, something we like to call Respect the Culture. As you see the artwork in right now, we're gonna bring in the homie comedian Larry Legend. Did Dante J.R. There we go. Yeah, I gotta stop doing Dante job. That's my fault. and,
Yeah.
Lero, what's going on, brother? How you feeling on this Monday?
I'm a little hungover. Had a few nice days in a row in Chicago. The weather is great, so we've been getting drunk like we supposed to, staying out the way. But I'm good, y'all. How y'all doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. You Bang right now. Bang had him a good weekend as well.
That
I
good.
appreciate
What's
that.
that? Kazakanes.
Right. It was a long weekend for sure. I spent it with Don a little bit. I spent it with Jose a little bit. It was just a lot of, you know, random Hispanic men coming through the crib and pulling us up.
Gee, Kazakanes is damn near the smoothest tequila I've ever tasted. That
Mm,
shit was scary smooth.
I'm gonna have to
And
get
no
that.
and no additives. So I didn't wake up hungover.
That's the
I
best.
I just
That's the
needed to
best.
drink some. I was just sluggish because I ain't had no water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when
But
you was tweaking.
man,
You know it's a good tequila when you wake up with no headache.
oh
That's a
yeah, I ain't
good
had no
tequila.
headache, none of that.
That's a good tequila. As y'all can see on the screen, man, follow Larry Legend at Larry's Legend on Twitter and follow him at Larry's Legend 1 on Instagram, man. Lero, we had a very busy weekend in the game of hip hop, man. We came on here last Monday. I was set at Mr. Jermaine Cole. And I will say this, and before I give the floor to you, I still don't like what he did, but I can't lie. I understand.
Yeah.
I
It got a
understand.
little dirty. It's getting dirty.
It's getting dirty out here, man. Tell us what you thought about this past weekend and everything going on.
I think we got what we was asking for from Drake. He came with a diss. Do I like how he put it out? Fuck no. Think he should have put it out himself. He should put his name. He still ain't stamped his name on it yet.
Still, yeah.
And I think that's kind of weak. But regardless, the diss itself was good. It was like a takeover type of diss. He had to address a lot of people at the same time. But the thing I really gotta say is you ain't got no box Chevy, do you, white boy?
It's a white boy.
That's all I got to say, man. That boy went and called his mama, man. Now, just in the moment, now mind you, I said I've been drinking all weekend. We've been having a lot of stuff going on. I hear the Drake diss the day after. I see, and I post about it because I see and I heard a clip. He was saying names. I'm like, oh man, this is what I've been asking from him. I'm sick of the subliminals. I'm Hove type shit. No, say a name, my nigga. He was saying names on that motherfucker. I don't like how he dropped it again. I feel like even if you're not gonna drop it yourself, 40 could have dropped it. Or fucking Chugs. He could have dropped that shit. Anybody could have posted that shit that we knew wasn't gonna turn their back on you like everybody else has. But just as I'm enjoying the Drake and dissecting it and listening to it, Rick Ross, he comes and takes over. He pulled a 50 Cent on the whole situation. And I got him up. I mean, I had it on Twitter. Everybody got one. J. Cole got negative 50. But I got, in reality, I would say Future's up 2. Ross might be up 3. The way he did everything you needed him to do. He picked a good beat. He dissed the man. And then he roasted the man. That's what beef has always been about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, it could get deeper. If I don't know how deep it's gonna get. I think Tia Kemp is gonna get involved. I think it's gonna get real nice. I like how petty Drake is being sometimes too. I don't like him being calling on his mother and making up a text. I don't even think his mama sent
Yeah,
that.
I don't even think that was his mama. That looked like Aubrey Graham sent that.
He sent his own
Obs.
shit.
She called him obs.
I say so. I mean, you know, I'm excited. I don't want nobody. I want to know your opinion because what I'm gonna say is gonna go into the next topic.
Okay. So I'm gonna go full in-depth Joe Budden tomorrow on Summer Sessions, but because there's different things about this beef that I don't like. But as far as the actual diss, I love the actual diss. I think the rollout was tough. I don't like how it was leaked. And let's be real, we've all been around this entertainment industry. I don't buy that a random nigga leaked that. I think Drake leaked that. I think what he did is let's see what niggas is feeling about this. And that's also kind of what I feel like Cole did with his. He put it out there as a filler and see what people thought, and then people wasn't liking it. That's why he pulled that apology thing. Or maybe he knows something that Drake and them niggas that, you know, Kendrick and them niggas is really gonna come with it. But one thing I respect the most about it, and I'll say this about Mr. Drake, and I think Larry, me and you on the same page with this. A lot of people, Drake got the same thing LeBron got, where his fans think if you don't go over the top with the love that you hate the nigga.
Right.
I'm a Drake fan. I like a lot of Drake music. His last 3 albums are probably some of my favorite. Like my favorite Drake album is None Was the Same, and then I'll go More Life out there. I was a More Life nigga. Shout out to Lock and Key out there in Koreatown, in LA. There was a niggas was playing a lot of More Life during that time. A lot of fun nights to do ice cream Sundays parties. But that's my favorite. I used to really like Take Care. Then I grew up as a 35-year-old. I can't relate with the content that was on there when I was in 2011. I was 22, 23. So yeah, I can relate to it then. But his last 3 I really, really like. And I'll say this about Drake: the nigga's battle tested. Whatever you want to say about Drake, he will always get into a battle. He won some. He beat Common. He beat Meek. Lost to Pusha. Lost to Pusha 100%. And I think even he knows he lost to Pusha. But this man, he came out. He named names about Drake. A lot of double entendres in there that I love. If you a fan of Hov, if you a Hov venture like me, you know, the Bodyguard Whitney line. I think there was reason he said that name. And we all know that's Kendrick's wife name. I think now he playing with fire. Because we know how that went. He brought up. Yeah.
He named the wife before and didn't end up well for him, man.
It didn't end up well when he named Virginia Williams. So, you know, playing with fire. But I liked how he went that. It was jokes. You know, how you big stepping with a 7-foot shoe, nigga. That's funny.
That was hilarious.
Funniest line in the bar. Metro, shut your whole ass, make some drums, nigga. And then he
you see his Instagram stories?
Posted the drumline scene, and the nigga on drumline looks a lot like Metro. He said, did he beat Common? Nigga, did you hear Skate scheming in every place in 2012?
Yes, he smoked Common.
And I love Common, but that Canada Dry line was new.
I will say that he had Common tried his best, and Common even bowed out. He bowed out. He said, you know what? He beat me. If you ask Common, he might not really want to stand on it, but he's standing on it.
He'll tell you. He'll say that.
No, I was
gonna say this. My bad, Dan. I just want to say this. And so, like from the diss, and then I was trying to keep it PG Lane. I like that. From a hip hop perspective, I love it. I give him some points, like you said, Larry. Like I think all of them got points. Now, Mr. Rose, Mr. Renzel, William Roberts. My favorite Rose is Wartime Rose because he's going to rap well and he's going to keep it personal and he's going to make jokes. His IG story last night was hilarious. Hilarious. Him, all the Drake records playing in the background. Shorty, who knows? Who knows? Calling OVO the pastrami posse. Like, it was just hilarious content. And then he kept tweeting. He said, where to respond to? So Ross is in here for the long haul. And Twitter got to stop doing when we care about Ross. Stop disrespecting Ross. We'll get to that. That's your next point in a minute. But I love what I saw. My only thing is this, and I give it to Dante. I thought it was a great game, but as we said in our pre-show meeting, this is like when the Bulls beat the Miami Heat in game 1. And a lot of niggas like, oh, man, we're going to dust these niggas. I don't know if he's ready for a 7-gamer. I think Kendrick going to come with it. We saw some tweets. I say Schoolboy Q tweeted in the middle of the night, this finna be funny. I think Kendrick's been waiting for this moment. So as a fan, and I think you tweeted this too, Larry. Like, you gotta admit when your favorite rapper loses. Do I think Takeover was better this than Ether? Yes. Do I know that Ether won? Yes. When we say things got Ether, so by default. And Jay was pretty much crying all the Blueprint too. Let's just be real. I think People Talk on the Blueprint Unplugged is a great song, but I've never heard that nigga that bothered in my life. So he obviously lost that beef. If Kendrick loses, I'll come on and tell you. So the floor is yours. Like Drake said, put that song out that you've been waiting 4 years to put out. So now, Mr. Duckworth, what you gonna bring to the table? Dante, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think the Drake diss was great. Like it was really good. It wasn't like great, like all time great, but it was great in the sense that it was extremely clever and it was a good opener because it hit at so many points. And then he let you know, like he said, I got more. He was like, and then the drop and give me 50 line because everybody was talking about Kendrick splits with Top. Like we've always been talking about that, like how much money he's actually getting. But that's one of those lines where it's like the pot calling the kettle black because we know who you paying. Like
you get a third. He used to get a third of his shit before he.
And then Drake fans tried to act like that didn't matter when Pusha brought that up. But now when
Yeah.
Drake brings it up, oh, now it matters.
Yeah,
That's
so
all.
like, yeah, that's one of those things. It's certain things he's gonna say that it's kind of like, well, you do that too. But at the same time, like he said, I appreciate the fact that he was putting names on it. Like he was saying shit. Like you said, I do agree. Like this was his takeover moment where he's naming multiple people at the same time. Like he said, what the fuck is this 20v1 nigga? Like, everybody's just wait. Everybody was waiting, and now y'all all coming at the same time. But fuck it, bring it on. And I do think that's one thing that you said we got to look back, even with his subliminals that he's had over the years with the timestamp songs and things like that. You know who he'd be talking about. So we know that when Drake wants to, he can really go at it. And I think that's one thing that we all really hold against Drake. I would say people in this chat at least is that we know he can rap. So it's like, bro, why do you be bullshitting?
We the
We
ones who
see
brought
what
him
you right.
in.
We see
We
what
talk-
you do when you actually get it in, bro. Like, so
We
why are we
told
doing this?
everybody about him first. That's why I'm like, bro, why you ain't? He did not beat the blackface, and he did
will
not
never.
beat
He did not.
He
No.
will never be
He-
blackface.
He not even
That's
black.
always gonna be nasty.
It's bamboozled. But I'm with you on that, Tay. Like the man, I'm with you on everything you said. 100%.
Bang, man. We know you're gonna save a lot of this for some dude and actually summer sessions tomorrow. I'm breaking down every line tomorrow. I'm gonna get real Joe Budden on the pod tomorrow. But Bang, what you think about from this weekend?
Rick Ross was MVP.
Yeah.
Facts.
And I had said this when I heard the song. I think I was talking to my man Cam and my man Mike Jones. And I said, oh, the one person you don't want to get in a battle with is Rick Ross. Because he don't know when to quit. That's the one thing that I love about Rick Ross. His pettiness, he don't know when to quit. And here's the thing, right? It's just not going to be about music no more.
No.
Like, go look at him and Envy. We all thought him and Envy was playing.
Envious.
And then it turns out they wasn't playing. And he didn't let up. He don't let up on 50. He don't let up on nobody. And the thing is, even when this dies down, you can expect to see on some random day in 2025, Renzel to say some shit about Drake, and it'd be hilarious as hell. Rick Ross is the only one out of this group that don't have to come with a fire diss, because the diss is probably not going to be better than what he says on Instagram. The fact that man told a fat guy, and this is speaking as a fellow fat guy,
As part of the fat delegation.
as part of the fat delegation.
Ross is on our board of directors.
Yes, as a car carrying member of the fat delegation. The fact that Rick Ross body shamed this man tells you everything you need to know. All right, because as Scott, let's go back to the conversation that we had on Summer Session. I think it was last year when we was talking about how if you was fat in high school, your shit had to be top notch.
You battle
tested.
Yeah.
You got to be top notch.
In the book.
Right, and that's why a fat dude will come up in there and heat your ass real quick because we battle tested. That's Rick Ross. He battle tested. Fam, what you gonna say to me? I'm fat? Like, the newest stuff is the racist stuff. Like, he told his mom he's racist. But now, Drake telling that man that he broke and he performed at proms now, I did laugh my ass off right there. That was funny. That shit was funny.
Last night. I was like,
right.
Man, he can get a prom right now.
Right. But then when this man called him BBL, when he BBL Drizzy.
He said you had 25% body fat with an etched out 6-pack. Stop it.
Right. I was like, when he said
40,000. Stop it.
When he said that, I was like, Drake, don't say nothing else about that man.
You got a Chevy white boy.
You got to think, Ross in Miami, where all their surgeons be talking, he know everything.
Right.
For real.
He probably been over your house when you was under recovery. You really need to stop it. You shouldn't bottle test yourself with some, like you said. We gonna get into this next topic because, like you said, Rick Ross has been battle tested. We saw Rick Ross beat the biggest bully in the yard. The nigga thought he could, and don't get it twisted. Like, the levels of petty Rick Ross, 50 Cent went through to get Ross out of here was crazy.
Nigga.
But Ross withstood all of that shit. Continued to battle him. To this day, still diss that man. He told Meek Mill, if I wake up with that nigga money, I kill myself. I said, damn. At one point, 50 was the top 3 richest rapper in the world. And Rick Ross beat that. So he beat allegations of being a PO. Now we in an era where we acknowledge people have regular jobs, so it's okay. Rick Ross beat a lot of shit, and I just want to know because of like Drake fans, they like to do this thing where they tear down other people, like they weren't somebody before he came around.
Yeah.
Because I even made a post that said Drake gives people hits, and those people give him credibility. And it's just in general. That was about everything. Drake doing the Migos song. The Migos was gonna be hot in the hood, but to get them to another level, that would help them. The dude that's kind of a pop rapper. But for some reason now everybody is trying to say Rick Ross. Who is Rick Ross? And Rick Ross is the one who made the most off of Drake. And I just want to know, when was Rick Ross? Didn't Rick Ross come out in 2006?
2006. We was in high school, brother. Like
Rick Ross came out with Hustling. That shit was on Grand Theft Auto, nigga.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, G, I'm gonna say, Lero, we can end it right here. Name a nigga with more whole features besides Memphis Bleak. Like, and Hov don't do features for everybody.
Hov don't do features for
His
niggas.
first song got a whole feature.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even signed to them.
I'm gonna go even further. Rose brought Hov out of retirement. Remember, Power 92 shut the block down. New Jay-Z verse. Jay coming out of retirement. I was driving a 1993 Caravan, nigga, in 06. I'm like, oh, let me turn this on. I got it. We ain't heard Jay rap in 3 years. I know a lot of y'all are 21 out there. Y'all don't remember this. Jay didn't rap for 3 years after Black Album. Mm-hmm. He dropped on that. It was Jeezy. And then he stopped the beat. Hov came out, basically announced that Kingdom Come was coming. Rose has been on top of this. And honestly, longer than that, he got a Trina feature from like 02. Yeah. He been writing records for them since the early 90s. I know he hate on Khaled too, but Khaled's a legit DJ. He was doing this in the 90s, bro. Like, he had this feats of Planet in his. And Larry, what you was talking about with Drake gets his credibility with people, I think niggas was safe to just be kicking it around Miami like that.
Right.
Wasn't because of Birdman, nigga. It was because of Rose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what it is with that. Well, you got Drake fans as sometimes you got to separate Drake from his fans, like you got to separate LeBron from his fans. Mm-hmm. Where it's like they're and the worst part is they be grown men. This is not even Drake women fans. This is to be grown men.
I don't care what women think about Drake. I know they like him.
Yeah, I know you like
niggas. Drake. Yeah. Y'all pray to him. If like you said before earlier, we're hip hop fans, bro. Everybody in this group is a hip hop fan. If our favorite lose, they lose. If Kendrick drop a dud, he drop a fucking dud.
Hey, but real quick, before we move on, I have to say this. I have to say this on this platform. Man, the changing of the guard officially happened this weekend too.
Okay.
The changing of the guard officially happened. Why? Because normally when these disses come, either they just come straight on the internet or we'll get it on the radio. Yeah. We got these disses from Academics, fam.
Bruh.
Academics is officially Ackmaster Flex, fam.
Ackmaster Flex.
Ackmaster Flex.
And I saw something. They said they think Drake. They think he did that on purpose just to steal some shine from Joe Budden because he dropped it straight through Act.
Probably.
So and as petty as they are on a Sunday, right when he knows they're not going to be recording.
Most viewers.
And Budden just did the Act interview over the week. And here's the thing too. I think somebody said like Joe Budden said this was coming a couple days before it happened. And Rory and Maul, they actually dropped the lyrics from it, which we didn't know at the time. And then also that's how I know that Kendrick coming. Because remember, Budden said from both sides. From both sides, he heard. Now, Nuclear was a stretch. But Budden also said on the show, he said, I don't know, niggas might be dick ride when it comes to Nuclear. But this is what I heard. So they're the new Academics and Budden are like the Woj and Shams of this beef right now.
Yeah, and if you got to remember, and this is something, it was kind of reminiscent of me being in college and hearing Jada diss Beans, and then Beans saying, fuck this, we headed to Hot 97. Like, this was the closest we got. Drake doing what he did was the closest of niggas going to Hot 97 and just rapping. Yep. We would never get that no more. We would never get a nigga getting dissed and saying, hey, let's go to the radio station. I'm about to drop a whole goddamn 30-minute freestyle of us shitting on Nas and Mobb Deep in them today and Jadakiss today. It's the closest we gonna get to that. But the fact of the matter, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you think that Drake did that with what he just did? What he just
The
did.
the closest to it, because the fact of the matter is he got one of the more popular streamers, because now this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
He went and gave the track or told the dude like, yo, oh no, that's the reference track. No, heck go the real shit.
And then
And
Ross
that
did the same thing though.
and Ross did the same thing. So giving Ross the MVP, but Ack is close to it because if this was an hour day, a
Flex,
a nigga would have went to Flex.
Yeah.
And Flex would have dropped 15 bars. And New York, stand up.
We got
And
the 60 here tonight. Toronto.
Yeah, like
I
that's
got a problem with that though, because I feel like their fan base ain't that fan base.
ja-
Their fan base
I agree
isn't
with
the
that.
fan base
And
that's
that's-
going to pay and whatever his name is. They're not going to these people to get their music. We're used to getting our music from blog sites or y'all niggas just posting that shit. So that's why I have a problem with it, because I had to hear the Drake shit because somebody downloaded it and put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then I went to YouTube to find it. But it was like it was too much. I mean, it wasn't like we used to that. But my thing is, for me, a rapper got to stand behind a fucking work.
Bro,
So you should have
that-
at least been
now-
on the podcast with
I'm still on that now because Drake has not officially released it, bro. Like,
so I'm glad that you said that.
Behind it.
I'm glad that you said that because that was the second part of it, though. At the end of the day, them niggas still went to the radio station and they rapped. They stand on it. That's why I said it was the closest to that, because we never gonna get that. We never gonna get that feeling. Like that feeling of Beans and them going as hard as they did at High 97.
Nasir Jones.
We never gonna get that.
Getting up in that studio and I'm gonna bring the disc and then I'm gonna rap too. Like,
Right. Like we never gonna
down
get
with
that.
Angie Martinez, and I'm gonna
But-
talk about it.
even had Nicki Minaj just do her thing. Like, she'll get on her little show and talk shit all night and then drop her shit. And
Right,
leave.
exactly.
These niggas ain't even like, you
That's
ain't
what
even
I'm saying.
there with
Drake is known for doing OVO radio. What was OVO
right?
radio?
Why
like
you
this
ain't use
weekend?
that?
Yeah.
That's why I say it's the closest, but you also 100% right. The niggas was there. Like the niggas was there. What he could have did, and it would have made it even more, and actually shit on Funk Master Flex and the radio, is been on that stream with that nigga playing that shit. Which also leads me to believe while that this was a nice joint, the nigga was nervous when he sent that shit out there. That's why, shouts out to Mike Jones. It's two things that he said today that had me rolling. AI is the new version of, oh man, that shit leaked. AI is that new version. And then
which I fucking hate.
Which
we'll
we
do that
hate.
tomorrow, but
But also, how the fuck you gonna be nervous in the battle? How you gonna be nervous when you drop the shit?
Well,
It is what it is.
Michael Jackson.
But see, I don't think he was nervous, because like if you peep, the first version that came out, all he did was master it and change. He changed a couple bars. He took a P Diddy line out.
I actually wish he'd have kept the Get Money sample.
I wish he would have kept the Get Money sample, and I wish he would have kept the shot at Travis Scott about you lucky your BM don't kiss and tell, nigga. Because like he used to be posting all them pictures at the Kardashian house, and he was fucking one of them. So like, if you're a Drake fan, you know that.
Did he actually kill niggas? So,
yeah, no, that's why he was scared.
Shout out my man B who tweeted that. Did he actually?
But hey, Drake got one of the best Diddy disses of all time. He probably got the best Diddy diss of all time.
He also has a broken shoulder from that Diddy.
He got that too. You know, people got a lot of broken things because of Diddy. But hey, before we get out of here, man, my last subject before we get out of here, y'all kind of touched on it. We talking about Drake fans. We talking about this hip hop shit, and I just want to know. I want people to know this because we all about preserving the culture over the culture seller, and here when we over here respecting the culture, I want people to know that AI is fucking dangerous, man. I've seen people who's my age who know better. I've seen people 25 who way younger than me who know better. That these asking questions about these AI discs.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar got this floating around disc from Kendrick that even if it isn't AI, which I do think it is, the way it ended, it sounded like AI for real. It sounded like
they actually announced it today that it was AI.
Okay, so I knew it seemed AI to me, but it's like niggas like Kendrick, he kind of like Geminis are similar people. We can really read another Gemini. Like we know how a nigga feel. I know how Kanye comes off to people, but I know what he means. And I know that sounds crazy, but I actually do know what he means as a Gemini. And I will say that he's gonna stand on his shit, bro. This nigga not finna just drop a diss and not say nothing about it. Or have the guys like he may let one of the guys, like I said earlier, niggas could let they click drop the diss, but they gotta drop it. And I know he know that. He's a student of the game and it's important. But I just want people to understand that go find your sources, my nigga. You can't just be out here throwing out information that you don't even have the truth to. Niggas is telling me that if that was, man, Kendrick, this was the worst shit I ever heard in my life. It's like, nigga, I thought it was Huff too, and I would have really been hurt if that was the real fucking diss.
And that's why I didn't believe it. That was the first thing that like made me think that this is not a real diss, because I'm like, that nigga ain't going like this. He going way harder than that. But also, it sounded too Section 80ish. Didn't sound believable. Like it just
sounded typed.
Yeah, it sounded typed. But I think what you're saying goes to a bigger problem we have where people just don't check their sources in general with anything. I mean, these are niggas who fall for fake Woj accounts every year. It's when people falling for fake Adam Schefter tweets next Thursday doing the NFL draft. I seen
tomorrow,
a nigga
the WNBA draft.
Tomorrow, the WNBA draft tonight. I seen a nigga put I heard the Bears taking Drake May. Nigga, if you've been anywhere over the last couple weeks, you know that's not happening. So it's a bigger thing where if you put a graphic out, you can Photoshop any graphic and put any headline, niggas are gonna believe it. So assuming Drake dropped this, Drake dropped that, and that's to me what takes the fun out of this. Outside of stands, and I think my brother actually tweeted this. Stands have always been around. I'm pretty sure there's people who, when Jay-Z and Nas are going, some people are like, well, I don't care, but there wasn't internet to see it on display. And this is the funny thing to me, because you can sat up here, the niggas been tweeting this. It's been 4 days, nigga, where y'all at? Drake took 28 business days, bro. And he's still not even 100% stand on this. I don't want to hear Kendrick take a month if you want. I don't think it's going to take that long. I believe when we sitting up here this time next week, that this will be out by then. I think it's coming. I have nobody telling me this, but I think it's going to come very soon. But it's just something where everything about like the social media and things like that is taking the fun out of this, which is just supposed to be competitive. Ain't nobody finna die from this. It's just finna be jokes. And I feel like Kendrick and Drake is going to be just dropping songs, but Ross is adding a whole different element to this that I think is going to, I don't care how great Kendrick's this is, but Drake has an opportunity to get punched twice. And what I mean by that is actually getting assaulted lyrically by Kendrick and then just having Ross clown this nigga for like the next 2-3 months. And that's something it's gonna be hard. I'm not saying he can't do it, but it's gonna be hard for him.
Yeah, anything is possible. I fuck with Drake enough to believe in himself.
Yeah, now I'm about to say, and at the end of the day, this man did get pissed on, so we could say he it's hard. Like he gonna bounce back.
Yeah,
he bounces back all the time.
Yeah,
he's never gonna lose, and then nobody's gonna mess with him.
Pictures like this.
Yeah,
he does this in his pictures.
He has
women be like, "Oh, my panties is wet." Like he got barrettes in his head when he do it. It's like, oh my god, this nigga's like Prince. This nigga's like Prince, Joe.
Yeah, and
it's crazy.
Ross wore the hoodie with that on.
Hey, going back to your point though, Scott, about how people don't credit their sources, and it's crazy because these are the same people who ask you what time it is with a smartphone. I just don't understand. I just don't understand these people.
Oh my god!
Like, how are we out here? You know your favorite rapper is your favorite rapper, and you believe that AI is your favorite rapper.
So same people who be
you don't know your favorite rapper. Then to me, you can't know a nigga.
Right. Right. Exactly. I think Ice from Joe Budden podcast tweeted, it's funny how one verse can shake up the game, and somebody's like, well, I thought you didn't like that record. You're like, nigga, that's a whole verse, bro. Like, y'all niggas don't know the history of this hip-hop thing. Like, when the nigga came out and said hip-hop ain't based on battling. I watched all 3 beefs again this weekend, my nigga. First battle, MC Shan versus KRS-One. G, like, come on, G, what we doing? Like, this is the fundamentals of it, and I wish it was just more fun than what it is right now. But man, you got any last? Yeah, well, I just saw Chuck D tweet this morning. I don't know what Chuck D talking about,
Chuck
but
D is he trying to keep the piece real hard with that
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
Like,
he
come
be
on, dog.
tweaking, bro. He
Like,
really be
dog, that's
fucking
like
tweaking.
playing basketball. Somebody got to be better than
I
somebody.
want to hear like you saw how befuddled Jadakiss was on Stephen A. Smith show about what happened with Cole.
Yeah,
Like, that nigga couldn't
the
believe
nigga
it.
got lyrics.
Yeah,
I don't understand this. He was upset. He
He was
laughed.
Just
I don't
confused.
understand.
This
yeah.
is not supposed to happen.
Bang,
Hey
what's your
man,
take on the AI before we wrap this up?
man, as somebody who works in content heavily now and having more and more conversations about AI, man, this shit just weird because it is. It's just niggas just messing up the damn culture by doing this. It's just trying to mess up the game, fam. Like I wish somebody would try to drop a Benny Siegel AI diss in 2001. That nigga would have got their ass beat. See, that's the other part too.
Yeah.
Like if these were situations back in the day, man, somebody got their ass whooped. Like Benny Siegel and them would have tried to find out who they were, and then they would have been like, "Oh man, my bad. I'm playing. Nah, man, we ain't playing about this. Hey, all of y'all internet lames, y'all internet clowns and shit like that like to toy around with this stuff. Hey, man, sit this one out. This is for the real. This ain't for the play. This is for the real. If this is not something that you into, that is cool, and for the sport, you take your ass up out of here. Go do that lame shit for some logic versus goddamn, somebody else beefs and shit.
We need
No, leave
somebody
this
to
shit to
find
the
their
real.
VPNs. We need somebody to find their VPNs and jump them personally. Everybody who making these this, so we can stop this shit. I'm with you on that, man. Sorry.
Yeah, man, it's just gonna get worse and worse going on, man. But Lero, man, always good to holler at you, bro. Looking forward to have you back on next week. But before we get you out of here, just got one question for you. Got the NBA playoffs coming up this weekend, NBA play-in tomorrow. Just what's your overall thought about this week that we getting into? Like anybody who you got as a favorite coming out the window?
God damn. I just saw I just saw the text thread.
Oh, right, nigga, exactly.
My team coming out. I think I don't really have a team. I think I'm looking for some good basketball. I think I would look for my MVP thing is what I was really thinking about the most. I really feel like Shea is the MVP of the season to me. I do like JB. I like Jokic, of course, could be that guy. Jason Tatum, a possible option as well. But that guy is the guy for me for MVP Shea because he has no all stars and his second best player. Well, some people would say second best player is his first year playing basketball, Shaq. So I think that makes a difference with him being number one seed. Ant-Man was great too this year, but for me, my dark horse is the Clippers, bro. I said this earlier. I think that's the team to beat for real. Like I think that's the team. I wouldn't say the team to beat. I think Denver's the team to beat, but I think they're the team that can beat everybody. And I think they match up well with every single team, especially with Zubac playing the way he's been playing as far as being big and presence. So I would just say that's my dark horse. I pray that the Bulls make it in, just because we're already in a stupid place to be in, where it's like we're almost
You
in the
might as well
playoffs.
make the
We might as
playoffs,
well
right?
try to go. Yeah, like so, Bulls can, us always see red first. But I'm going with Clippers this year. I love Denver is the team I really know is gonna win it all. If it comes down to it, I'm going with Denver with my money. But in my heart, I want the Clippers to win one because all the niggas need one more. So
Yeah,
that's my stance on it. It's the NBA huff to me this year. Not
brother,
this
I'm
year,
with
but
you.
just in general. It's just
I'm
a
with you.
horrible product, bro. It's like watching what was that game we with the 3-on-3s that we used to play, the arcade ass basketball game we
Oh,
used to
with the
play.
NBA Jam.
Not Jam, the newest one that we used to play like in 2003. You know what
I
I'm
know what
talking
you're
about.
talking about. I just don't know the name. Yeah,
Streets.
Streets.
That's what the
That's what
shit
it
is like.
was.
It's like NBA Streets. I'm out on the NBA, man. They need to get some fucking structure now.
I'm actually definitely looking way more forward to the NFL draft next week than I am the playoffs
Yeah,
for
like
obviously for selfish reasons, but that's what I meant with that, man. But y'all can follow the homie Larry Legend at Larry is Legend on Twitter and Instagram, or Larry's Legend on Twitter and at Larry's Legend 1 on Instagram, man. Get into him. Anything you want to promo before we get you up out of here, bro?
Nah, I promote y'all, man. Y'all, I love how y'all support me. I always support y'all. Barber's Chair Network. We always in here working. Like I said, Culture Seller is another thing I've been working with and working on. So look out for that when we really get to launching that. Other than that, I'm cool, man. You remember I'm one of y'all. I was there when we had that first meeting
Yeah, when we
about
had
this
that
thing.
first
I
meeting,
love
nigga.
seeing the vision come to fruition. So
We've come a
shout
long
out
way
to the
from that
guys.
meeting at Bar Louie. Long
Bar
like it was
Louis,
like
me, you,
7 years
Rico,
ago.
my
Me,
boy
Rico,
Rico, man.
Pierce, my brother, man.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir.
I always love hollering at you. Holler at you next Monday, bro.
Yes, sir. Y'all be safe.
Yes, sir. Let's get into our actual predictions here, man. We're gonna get into play-in predictions to wrap up this episode of the show. As I said earlier, no local hour today. No local hour today. No local hour on Friday. We'll be back next Monday for a local hour. Local hour is gonna get a little sparse during the playoff stuff because honestly, it's not that much college sports to talk about. But we do have me and Dante have a great podcast dropping tomorrow on the Patreon. Return to Queens Boulevard. It is the 20th anniversary of the hit HBO show Entourage. Me and Dante just knocked out the first 4 episodes of season 1 this past weekend. Episode 1, which we'll be breaking down episodes 1 and 2 of season 1, drops tomorrow on the Patreon. And episode 2, which we have episodes 3 and 4, will be dropping on Thursday, man. So let's just get right into these play-in predictions, man. We're going to start with the Lakers and the New Orleans Pelicans. Last night, the Lakers defeated the Pelicans by over 20 to advance and clinch the 8th seed. The Pelicans are trying to make the playoffs again. Zion Williamson is trying to make the first postseason as his career. Of course, he missed the playoffs when he was hurt. The last 2 years he's been hurt. So this will be the first one for them. For me, I'm putting it like this, man. This has been an egregious topic that's been brought up, and I actually tweeted it yesterday. It's a hot take, but I had to bring it up. In the words of Bang, content is king. As a lot of people said, maybe the Lakers should, forfeit this game so they can play the winner of the Warriors and the Kings so they can not face the Denver Nuggets in the first round. I tweeted that yesterday. I said I don't think they do it, but it wouldn't shock me if this was an option. Having said all that, I don't think they're gonna do it. They're gonna go out here and try to take their chances with Denver. But as far as this one, I think this game's gonna be way more closer than we saw yesterday. I think Zion's gonna play much better. He's gonna be way more aggressive than he did yesterday. This is gonna be a good game for them. And I do think that the Pelicans will make the playoffs. I think they'll have a chance to be either Golden State or the Kings, but I don't think they're going to get the 7th seed. I'm going with the Los Angeles Lakers to win this one, and we're going to get the rematch of that West Conference Finals in the first round. Dante, how you see this playing game going?
This playing game, I really got. Damn. I don't think they throw it. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. I think the Lakers are gonna take care of business. I know they said Anthony Davis was up walking around dapping people up after the game, just minor back spasms. So I do think that the Lakers will take care of business. Pelicans has been a great run. Glad to see Zion finally in the playoffs. But I think this is another team that, although they are a young team, they're gonna really be at a crossroads this offseason. They got to figure out what they're gonna do with their squad. But in terms of this matchup, I got the Lakers.
Bang, which way you going for this first playing game? Lakers or Pelicans? You on mute, big dog. That's fine.
Damn, man. Y'all gotta hit me with the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
When somebody say the word of the day, just yelling shit. But nah, man. I got the Lakers because I don't think that the Pelicans got the heart to do it. This right here, this is when this is where you separate people. And that separation should have happened the last game of the season. It didn't. So same situation, same spot. Well, not same situation, but same place, same spot, game. Lakers gonna crush them boys. I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Blowout. I think it's gonna be close. I don't think they're gonna blow out and get back-to-back nights. That'd be crazy if they did that. But the second play-in game on the West Coast on Tuesday will be the Sacramento Kings hosting the Golden State Warriors, which is basically a rematch of last year's epic 7-game series, which ended in the game 7 with Mr. Stephen Curry dropping 50 points and sending the Kings packing. Kings have not had the season that they had last year. Last year they finished the 2nd seed. This year they'll be 7th. So I think that they're going to come and try to get their lick back. But this is the Golden State Warriors. They're battle tested. I think the Warriors are going to win this game. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to go down to the wire. But it just won't be enough. I think Steph and those boys, they want to try to give this at least one more try. As I've said all season, I just don't think this team is that good. But I think they're going to go out, but I don't think it's going to be them going out in the play-in. So I got them winning this game and then advancing to play either the Lakers or the New Orleans Pelicans. Dante, how you see this matchup, rematch of last year going in this playing game with the Kings and the Warriors?
It's over. It's over. I got the Kings.
You got the Kings?
Yes, it is over. I think it's done. I think the Warriors, we've been waiting. You wanted to keep extending this shit. It's done, dog. It's done. I got Sacramento. They're gonna find a way to get it done.
Let's be very clear. Dante said it's done with the Warriors for like the last 4 years. Let's be very clear about that.
That is true. That's true.
Bang, how you see this one going with the Kings and the Warriors?
I see the Kings getting they get back from last year, man.
Okay, you on that train too?
I'm in that. I'm on that train too, man. I got the Kings getting their revenge, retaliation, and get back from last year, man. It's over. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap.
Okay, we'll see. I'm saying, I wouldn't be shocked if Taylor. This is not a good Warrior team, but I'm going with stuff. Let's go to the play-in games on Wednesday. We have got the Philadelphia 76ers, who fell from one of the top 3 seeds early in the season to dropping the 7th, only because Joel Embiid has been out these last couple months, but he has been back the last week, been playing relatively well, and they will be going up against Joel Embiid's former teammate and the reigning defending Eastern Conference champions, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Eric Spoelstra, and the Miami Heat. Man, I think this is going to be one of them old school defensive grind out type of games. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers. You can never count out the Miami Heat. Obviously, Heat culture. They're always like the Undertaker gift, where they always raise from the dead. They always have mediocre regular seasons, then do what they need to do to come playoff time. But this isn't a thing of Jimmy Butler just, holding his energy. I think he's just not that good this year. I think Philadelphia is a team that I would not want to face. They've got a good chance to do what they need to do and maybe ruin the party for the Celtics or the Knicks this year. So I'm going to go with the Sixers in this one. I think Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and them boys are going to get it done. Dante, man, how you think it's going to go down in the city of brotherly love on Wednesday?
I know I just shit on both of these teams, but I think Jimmy gets it done. Embiid, again, like we said, we've been waiting for years for this shit to finally pop off. He's back, he's playing well, but then it's just what's gonna happen come playoff time? Because my biggest thing that's always stuck with me about bro is he was quick to throw Ben Simmons under that bus. Boy, you was playing like shit too. Like he was playing bad, bro. And so for as much as they, did that, that's why I always wonder with bro, like what is the production going to be? And when he hits that wall, how is the rest of the team going to respond? So, and as far as this playing game, I think I'm going to go with the Miami Heat. I think Jimbo gets it done. And, once again, I go in doubting Jimmy Butler, and I'm pretty sure he's going to make a fool out of me. So I'm going to just go ahead this year and say Miami gets it done, at least in the play-in.
Bang, are you rolling with Jimbo G Buckets or are you rolling with
I ain't rolling with no damn Jimmy Buckets on this shit. Nigga Philly.
And no other explanations.
No other explanation either, nigga. I'm going with Philly on that one. Nah, I can't do it with this Heat culture shit no more, fam.
Are you tired of Heat culture?
I'm tired of Heat culture, fam. No, Heat culture need to win a title in order to be a goddamn culture, fam. Philly winning this shit by 5.
I mean, to be fair, Heat culture was there when Spoelstra and them niggas was winning with Bron and them. So.
Yeah, but they wasn't talking about that shit like they talk about that shit with Jimmy.
Oh, they say on Levitar, Heat culture is a cult.
Exactly. Take they fucking ass to Waco, Texas, goddamn.
Waco, Texas. Well, so let's wrap this up. Final play-in game on Wednesday night. The beloved the Chicago Bulls will be hosting the play-in game.
Who gave them that name? Time out. Who the fuck called them the beloved? Because they not my beloved.
No, well, that's
Like,
what I say with any of the home
oh,
teams.
all right, okay. There we go. I was about to say,
Man,
I
the
would
way
love-
that you jumped up for
Yeah,
that shit was
I would
hilarious.
love how much vitriol Dante has for the Bulls, but he never
hate
has
them
this
niggas,
vitriol
bro.
for the White Sox.
Hold on. What the
He
fuck?
never has this vitriol for the niggas who done won 2 games on 35th and Shields.
Oh, we ass, boy. We terrible.
Ass.
But see, now you said it in a nice way, like your cousin who on drugs. Like, yeah, he a good dude.
Hey, Coastal Montgomery hit 2 home runs this week. We moving. We making moves.
So the Bulls will be hosting Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks, man. Look, I can see this game going either way. If you tell me Trae Young goes out there, have a crazy day and sends the Bulls home, and you tell me that the Bulls up 25 points and they jag and they lose, no outcome Wednesday night will surprise me. Having said all that, I think Debo, Alex Caruso, and Kobe White get it done. I think they send this Atlanta Hawks team packing. Dante, despite your hate for the Bulls, do you think they'll win this game, or are you rolling with the home team that you're at right now, the Hawks? Fine. There's a fine. Second fine with the mute jaw.
No,
I'm
I'm gonna
sending y'all
say,
niggas Apple Cash invite.
no, I'm not gonna go with the second city. Well, my second city. I'm gonna go with the Chicago. I think the Bulls are gonna get it done. Atlanta, man. I know Trae Young. Trae Young has really tried to, temper the whole he wants to leave thing. He said he wants to be in Atlanta forever, but I don't know what's going on with this team, bro. This is everybody was jocking them at the beginning of the year. They were one of the top seeds in the East, and none of that panned out. The DeJounte Murray pickup has been cool. It hasn't been the results they expected, but I think the Bulls will get it done. DeMar has been a great story all season. I think he keeps that going.
Bang, last game. You think the beloved winning this, or you going with the ATL?
Nah, man, I'm going with the Bulls. Atlanta stinks, fam.
Yeah.
If the Bulls lose this game, they need their ass whooped. Atlanta stinks. So I'm going with the Bulls on this one.
I can't wait to see those see red flags. Like this is an actual playoff game. We know exactly what Bulls management is going to do that.
Kobe White about to go crazy. Watch.
I think Kobe's going to go crazy. I think DeMar's going to have a great game, but I actually think we're going to see Alex Caruso masterclass. He likes games like this. I think AC is going to play a great game on. It actually would not shock me if the Bulls get into the AFC and just get ransacked by the Celtics. I'm talking they lose by 25 every night type thing. Like one of them things where nigga, why you waste our time? So that is our play-in preview. That is all we have, y'all, on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I will be back Wednesday for I'm Not Gonna Hold You halftime, where I'll recap the games on Tuesday and then get y'all ready for the final the final preparation for the Wednesday play-in games, man. On Friday, it will be our NBA playoff preview episode. Pavi will be pulling up. Cousin Dan will be pulling up. The homie Mike Willis will be pulling up. And we're going to preview each and every playoff series that is set on that night and get you ready for the final play-in games that night too, because you're going to have the final, people who lost the games playing in the other ones, the final playing games on Friday nights. We'll preview that as well, man. So y'all know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. Y'all know where to follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Follow our partners, H&B Media and H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, and get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can visit pillarsclub.co. You can go to their Instagram, Pillars_Club. You can get the new friend discount, which is going to be going on for the remainder of the month of April. Go on that website right now to get the actual code, get you 40% off on a lot of their clothing in the store, or you can visit any of the 3 stores in the Chicagoland area. There's one in the West Loop, there's one in Chicago Ridge Mall, one in Orland Park Mall. So get in tune with those guys, man. You can follow Dante on Twitter and Instagram at OctoberZoneTay. You can follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network. There'll be no local hour tonight, but we will be having episode 1 of Return to Queens Boulevard of Entourage Rewatch Podcast, 20th anniversary of Entourage, will be available tomorrow morning. New Summer Sessions episode on Wednesday. If you love the hip hop talk we had today, me and Bang really break this down. We're going to get Merck's opinion on this, and we got special guests on next Summer Sessions. Check that out, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Friday. Big salute to all the women getting drafted in about 40 minutes on the WNBA draft. We'll holler at y'all on Friday, man. We about here.